Did you just witness what happened to the WNBA after Caitlin Clark's team was eliminated? Fans are furious and actively boycotting the league, which is currently in complete and visible upheaval.
It appears that Caitlin Clark fans have listened. Last night, I received the ratings for the first round of games for the Chase for the Golden Toilet. As expected, darkness is coming. The spotlight is rapidly fading.
Regardless of how it gets presented, the reality is that the overwhelming majority of people had zero interest in the WNBA before Caitlin Clark arrived on the scene.
2 years ago, their home attendance was 1,800 fans. Their average this year, home attendance, is 17,000. That's almost 10 times. And, of course, the big difference is Caitlin.
Perhaps the WNBA will now revert back to exactly what it was before Caitlin Clark, with the league's biggest star now gone.
A lot of the Indiana Fever fans or Caitlin Clark fans that you speak of are no longer going to watch the WNBA now that the Indiana Fever are.
There is simply no denying that despite being consistently mistreated, she single-handedly dragged this league into the national spotlight. Now that she is out, people are rapidly losing interest once again. Fans were already furious about the constant targeting Clark received. Her opponents were not just going after her on the court, they were also accusing her fanbase of being hateful and toxic.
And then the moment the ratings tank, they're going to come back and say, see, we were right all along. It's all the racists that follow Caitlin Clark that were watching the product, and now they're gone, and we're back with our diehards. And that's the ratings that you're seeing. Actual W fans, not WNBA, actual W fans.
Let me get it right.
That's going to be the argument.
Right now, Caitlin Clark's fans may decide to stop watching the WNBA entirely this season. And by fans, I mean essentially the entire WNBA viewing audience. Anyone who still genuinely believes Clark's absence will not devastate viewership needs to stop being naive and face the uncomfortable reality.
Caitlin Clark came in and made such an impact on how many people started to care about the WNBA. This was the highest viewed season in the history of the league. In 28 years, the numbers were stellar.
Be completely honest. How many of you did not start following the WNBA until Caitlin Clark showed up and changed everything about this league overnight?
Clark drew a whole new fan base into it, and now the question is, because she has been eliminated, she and the Indiana Fever are eliminated after losing 2 games to the Connecticut Sun. What is the rest of the season going to look like, ratings-wise, for the WNBA? Are people still going to care? That is the question on everybody's mind, because when you look at the numbers with Caitlin Clark,
comments of people saying, well, it's been real, WNBA, I'm going to go back to watching football now. Like, I'll be back when Caitlin plays again, or I'll be back when the Indiana Fever play because now I'm an Indiana Fever.
Right now, every single Caitlin Clark fan is saying the exact same thing. The WNBA simply will not be the same without her presence driving everything forward.
Literally carried the sport on her back all summer long. She talks that yang. That's what resonates with Caitlin Clark. It isn't her being white. It isn't her being straight. Her game resonates with people in basketball and across the country because she's got that edge. She plays with a flair. I heard her drop 3 F-bombs in one game sitting right there courtside. Her teammates had to hold her back. She's yelling at the coach. That's what Magic, Bird, Isaiah, Jordan, you name it, that's what they do. Clark resonates, but that clicking sound you hear is televisions being turned off. Ain't nobody watching this stuff now. Ain't nobody turning the set on and saying, I gotta watch.
Nobody is going to take the WNBA seriously until the league directly confronts and addresses the bias and the deep-rooted animosity that has been allowed to fester for far too long.
Most points by a point guard in a season in WNBA history. Most double-doubles by a rookie guard in WNBA history. Most points by a rookie in WNBA history. Most assists by a rookie in the history of the WNBA. First WNBA rookie to record 2 triple-doubles. First triple-double by a rookie in WNBA history. First triple-double in Fever history. The first player to be named WNBA Player of the Month and Rookie of the Month in the same month. First player in WNBA history with 20 or more points, 15 or more assists, and 5 or more rebounds in a game. She won Rookie of the Month 4 times. Eastern Conference Player of the Week 3 times. She set a single-season record for assists. Period. Single-season rookie record for assists. That makes sense. Single-season rookie record for 3-pointers. Game record for assists, 19. Franchise record for most double-doubles, 3-pointers. Career 10 or more assists in a game. How about that? Franchise record for most career 10 or more assists in a game. Fastest WNBA player to reach 100 3-pointers. She did it in 34 games. Most assists by a rookie in a WNBA All-Star game, for which she received the most fan votes ever. 700,000 of those. Fastest player to reach 350 points and 150 assists to start a season regardless of years.
You could feel that records were going to fall every single time she stepped on the floor. Have you seen the extraordinary list of records she broke this season alone? Most points scored by a point guard in a single season, and that is just the beginning.
Caitlin Clark and the Indiana Fever had over 1.8 million viewers, and the rest of the games had around 400,000 viewers. If you added them up together, they still wouldn't add up to 1.84.
If that alone is not jaw-dropping enough, the WNBA is already experiencing a significant and measurable decline in viewership without her. The Indiana Fever playoff game alone attracted more viewers than the next 3 playoff games combined. She set so many records in such a short time that the video clip had to be sped up just to list them all.
Afternoon, competing directly with the fourth quarter of the early slate of games in the NFL. Caitlin Clark drew 1.8 million viewers on ABC. It was the most watched playoff game since Game 2 of the 2000 WNBA Finals, and it was the most watched game in the WNBA playoffs on an NFL Sunday.
Most Americans spend their Sundays locked onto NFL football, but Caitlin Clark completely changed that reality. Despite a full schedule of NFL games competing directly against her, people could not look away from her WNBA playoff match, which pulled in an unprecedented 1.8 million viewers.
I was not excited about the playoffs starting. First of all, it is a football Sunday, and I don't care how much we've grown and people are tuning in and they're watching in the eyes. You're going up against NFL on a Sunday.
You would naturally assume that everyone inside the WNBA community would be absolutely overjoyed that the league pulled in record-breaking viewership numbers while competing head-to-head with a full NFL slate. But instead of celebrating and giving credit where it was overwhelmingly due, Caitlin Clark's biggest and most persistent critic Cheryl Swoops stirred the pot. Swoops, who has never once shown genuine appreciation for the Fever star, made it clear she was not even pleased that viewers chose WNBA over NFL. When asked on her podcast Queens of the Court about her thoughts on the WNBA surpassing the NFL in viewership.
Is not just a delusional fan base who is just delusional, but they're not really tuning in. No, these people are coming in waves to watch one player who has sold out every single arena that she has played in this.
Cheryl, you are not simply dismissing the WNBA and Caitlin Clark, you are also demeaning the brand new fans she attracted to this league. Fans who made the conscious and deliberate choice to watch Caitlin Clark on a Sunday afternoon despite NFL football being broadcast simultaneously across multiple channels.
About league attendance, the Indiana Fever, all right, with Caitlin Clark, led the league in attendance both home and on the road. Fever averaged 17,035 at home, 15,000 on the road. Attendance for the entire league up nearly 50% this year, according to data from across the timeline. And Indiana leads all teams with an average attendance of, like I said, of 17,035. Merchandise sales are up 450%. I'm gonna repeat that. Merchandise sales are up 450% for the WNBA, according to
Let us take a genuine moment to talk about what Caitlin Clark actually represents. She did not simply join the league. She fundamentally transformed it from the ground up.
WNBA announced they plan to commit $50 million over the next 2 seasons so players can fly on chartered planes. The league faced backlash on social media when Indiana Fever star Caitlin Clark and the team was seen walking through a Dallas airport headed to a commercial flight. I need any females out there who are fans of the WNBA, who are fans of WNBA players, who are critical of Caitlin Clark in any way to stand down, chill out. You need to hug that girl when you see her. You need to embrace her. You need to compete like hell to go up against her, take her down on the basketball court. That's fine, which I believe the Diana Taurasi's and the Asia Wilsons and others of the world will gladly do. But in her very first press conference, she brought up the fact that they had to fly commercial, and the next damn day, $50 million was committed to the players. Who do you think has something to do with that? She could have been selfish. She
moved WNBA players from cramped and uncomfortable commercial flights to private charter planes. Before Caitlin Clark brought all of the new fans and all of the national attention, players were boarding commercial aircraft to get to games like everybody else. The moment she rose to real prominence, everything around the league changed dramatically and permanently.
Who helped build the NBA deserved far more shine that they were getting. You have every right to feel that way. What you have to respect, however, is that the paying customer, the audience, didn't feel that way. They did not give a damn about the WNBA. And they really were not feeling the WNBA to the degree that they're feeling the WNBA now, obviously because of Caitlin Clark, who's selling out games and got the Indiana Fever selling out games more than they sell out Pacer games.
All of that transformation was caused entirely by the Caitlin Clark effect. And in spite of everything she brought to this league, she had to absorb constant animosity and barely disguised jealousy from other players who kept asking why Caitlin was getting all the attention when they had been working hard in this league for years.
Indiana Fever. Remember, Caitlin Clark was drafted first, which means last year they were the worst team in the WNBA. It did not matter because this season they were the most watched team in the league. An average of viewership, 1.1 million viewers each game in the regular season. Other games, listen to this, paled in comparison, drawing just about 394,000 viewers on average.
Caitlin Clark took the Indiana Fever from one of the weakest and most irrelevant teams in the entire WNBA and turned them into a genuine playoff contender. And her game speaks for itself more powerfully than any words ever could.
Watch Caitlin Clark every single night play basketball. I'm that fascinated with her mind, her toughness, obviously her shooting ability. I think she might have cracked my top 5 all time. And that's men or women.
All time?
Yes. I'm going MJ's in that category. Steph Curry is in that category. And Caitlin Clark goes in there, man. And Larry Bird will be the other guy.
She won over analysts and even legendary basketball players who became her most passionate and vocal supporters, in addition to captivating every single person in attendance at every arena she walked into.
Women out there, y'all petty, man. Hey, LeBron, you're 100% right on these girls hating on Caitlin Clark. Y'all petty, girls. I expect men to be petty because we're the most insecure group in the world.
Oh, you are.
Y'all should be thanking that girl for getting y'all that private charters, all the money and visibility she bringing to the WNBA. Don't be petty like dudes. Listen, what she's accomplished, give her flowers. Stop being petty, all you women out there. She got y'all charters. She bringing all y'all this money to the table for y'all being petty like dudes. LeBron, you are 100% right. Y'all girls, stop being petty. Caitlin Clark, thank you for bringing all that money and shine to the...
Charles Barkley had the following to say about Caitlin Clark and did not hold back a single word.
And they should have done everything they can to keep Clark playing. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe Asia Wilson and whoever these other angry women are, maybe, just maybe, they're going to take off and run with it. Maybe it's better with Clark not being in the playoffs so we can watch.
And now the entire sports world is beginning to seriously wonder whether the WNBA is simply a failing product that cannot sustain itself in a marketplace without her carrying it forward.
The celebration is over. Reality is knocking on the door of the porta potty. The truth is finally coming to the light. The same light that is going to be dimming here in about 12 hours when Caitlin Clark is eliminated from the playoffs. I know the mainstream media wants us to believe that the WNBA is surging in popularity. I know analysts like Monica McDougal at ESPN. They want us to recognize elite layup missers and failed dunkers. But what Casey has been telling you guys all season, it has been true. What I have said countless times over the past few months, it is finally being proven without a shadow of a doubt. Caitlin Clark is a megastar. Caitlin Clark is a box office draw. While the rest of the WNBA, it is nothing but a polished turd.
Caitlin Clark brought the explosive pace and the deep, accurate three-pointers that made women's basketball genuinely thrilling to watch. Without her, the season is already over for me and for countless other viewers who feel the same way. The audience is simply not interested in watching the other players in the same way, and it does not even feel like the same sport anymore without her on the floor.
Just the ratings that were in the pooper, attendance was clogging the drain as well. Aces shitbirds, 10,000 in an arena capable of holding 12. Linkers masculines, 8,500 in an arena capable of holding almost 19,000. Dreamers liberals, 11,000 in an arena capable of holding 18,000. If you're one of the dozens of fans in the WNBA, it is only going to get worse.
It is not just viewership that has suffered either. Game attendance has dropped dramatically with Caitlin Clark's absence. The excitement and energy that defined this league just months ago is fading fast and visibly. It is something the league cannot afford to ignore any longer.
And I think that some of the ladies, not all, but some of the ladies in the WNBA are missing the...
But none of this had to happen this way. The WNBA had an extraordinary and once-in-a-generation opportunity with Caitlin Clark. They could have made her the official face and centerpiece of the entire league and used her incomparable star power to elevate women's basketball to heights it had never previously reached. Instead, they failed completely to recognize and fully capitalize on what they had right in front of them.
Nate Carrington get into it with Caitlin Clark. There were many accusing her of giving Caitlin Clark a black eye, having an intentional foul on Caitlin Clark, which was...
When J.C. Sheldon struck Caitlin Clark in the eye, everyone watching could see it was clearly wrong and that a suspension should have followed immediately. Instead of standing firmly behind their biggest star, the entire league turned against her, allowed the bullying to continue unchecked, and then handed the perpetrators titles and public recognition.
Carrington now has been awarded Most Improved Player of the Season. If people were to read about this WNBA player getting Most Improved this season, I think oftentimes if you would have looked last year, for example, they would have been like, who? Who is this person? Okay, moving on. I have no idea, nor do I care. But because this was the player just involved in a bit of a scuffle with Caitlin Clark in the opening game of the playoffs, now people are saying, oh, that woman that got Most Improved Player, that's the one who stuck her fingernail in Caitlin Clark's...
Can you actually believe that the league recognized J.C. Sheldon as the most improved player in the WNBA rather than suspending and fining her for what everyone clearly witnessed? What are your genuine thoughts on this? Please share them in the comments below.